Hi, Blake back at you with Intellimotive. Want to make this quick video. As you can see, I got some of my normal shit around, do my training videos, try to bring some good, valuable content here to the auto repair industry. But I had this idea for a bit, and I wanted just to really get it done, make it kind of informal. But as you can read in the title, I want to bring to you how to save money in a time like this, how to save money at the mechanic during times of inflation. Because it's a big thing. Right now, all of our pocketbooks are getting hit. Everything's costing way more, up 20, 30%. Same goes with mechanical repair guys. Can't avoid it there, which means the cost is higher to you. They're paying more for parts, so you're paying more for parts. All the costs are going up. So that's why I kind of thought of this topic of how to save money at the mechanic. Well, the starters, I'm going to cover a few basic things, really walk you through the whole process of how to approach this at your comfort level, whether it's, you can do some of the stuff yourself, whether it all has to be done in a mechanic, kind of how to shop, both ways. But first is, obviously, if you got a problem with your car, whether it's a check engine light or the thing's making noise, you need to get it assessed. But this is a good broad approach no matter what. And initially, it's how to find a mechanic. And really, this use your resources, use Google, talk to people, at least uh, off the cuff or off the bat. At least try to do your best to find a reputable mechanic. But the next few steps will also help you, quote unquote, interview them to also know their integrity and get a better idea and a better feel for them. And also, these initial steps I'm going to share with you really can help you get a good comfort level going in ahead of time without a sense of urgency, without your car being physically broke down and you're stranded. You can use these tactics to really go in and get a good feeling for a shop. I know they'll work because of being an auto repair shop, and I'm also still on the inside of many of the local businesses that I help. And so I know that this works because I'm on the other side of the counter. And I know this really is a good way to help disarm mechanics because they're humans too. But they also, it's a good way to build business rapport with them. And what do I mean with that? Well, your car is broken or you got a check engine light, something to that effect. You need to get it fixed. But right now, you're, kind of interviewing the mechanic. The best way or a good way to approach a mechanic is either go in and be prepared to pay the diagnostic fee for a shop. The other one is also good is to call them and ask them if they do used vehicle inspections. Though, when you're interviewing a shop, is call them and really talk to them about their schedule. Approach them with the, let's say, used vehicle inspection route. Call them and say that they do that. Use your best instincts here, but how do they go through the appointment scheduling process? How long out are they? What do they charge for it? They should charge for it. Don't go into this thinking you want it for free, and you don't want them thinking that either. You are more than willing to pay them for their time. And this is kind of that good first point. Be willing to pay for their time. This is not a video about how to get stuff for free. This is a video of how to pay appropriately, but you also want to pay as minimally as possible. So a good tactic is, again, up front, paying for a used vehicle inspection or paying them to diagnose a check engine light. Starting with the used vehicle inspection and not even approaching it with a check engine light is a good place to start. Because honestly, if you're in there for a used vehicle inspection and you're paying for it, which on a good national average is anywhere from 100, 150, maybe on the top end if you're in a good big metropolis area, maybe a couple $100 is what I'd expect to pay for a used vehicle inspection. But sometimes during that, they actually will scan for codes just to give you a basic idea of what those might be. And maybe even give a little bit of minimal diagnostics response just because you're there. But why do I say pay for a used vehicle inspection? Well, like I said, you're coming in and you're not expecting something for free. That, for one, really helps drop the guard of an auto repair shop. You got to be empathetic to them. A lot of the time, they're dealing with people that want stuff for free, kind of poke and prod. And if you're a new customer to them, they're going to kind of be a little standoffish in that regard as well. So by approaching them and getting across that you are prepared to spend some money, you want a good quality used vehicle inspection. Now they don't need to know, you don't need to say, hey, da, 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 I'm just doing this, for whatever reason. You can approach it, little fibs, hey, you're thinking about selling it, or hey, you're thinking about buying this vehicle. Maybe a good one is, hey, I'm thinking about selling it. I just want to know the condition of my car. This really helps bring the tempo down for the shop. They know you're going to pay, you're more than willing to pay, and they're going to take a good amount of time. And this is a part you can interview with the shop is, what do they go through when they do an inspection? How much time do they take? Half hour, hour? What things do they check? And this is a good time for you to really, quote, interview the shop, communicate with them in a very um, non-standoff manner, because you're not coming in there with your car broke. You're not coming in there with a prior expectation. You're just looking to them for service. And so by going through those motions, you can understand what they're going to do with the used vehicle inspection. And say all that checks out, you feel comfortable, schedule that appointment, all good. So have them go through the motions. How they follow up with that is good. When they bring you your car back or give you your car back, they're going to report to you what they found. A good quality shop is going to spend the time going through this with you. Your brake condition, your shock condition, leaks underneath the vehicle, anything they see is wrong. Are the tires wearing? Things of that nature. They're going to give you a good broad scope of the vehicle, but also give you your opinion. This is where some real value is at, is that you're buying their time. You're spending that $150 to really buy their time for that. So most shops, have a person up front, a service writer, and then there's a mechanic in the back. They're going to communicate all that. If you're dealing with a smaller shop, that might be all the same person, being the one owner. They do everything, and they're going to sit there and communicate with you. But again, that's a good way to interview them and really understand the rapport. If you get good feeling with that interaction, this may allow you to continue to use them down the road if you so choose. But at this point, you're going to get an estimate. You're going to get an understanding of everything going on with your car. And this again is they generally, most shops, if it's a good quality place, isn't going to approach this as in, I'm going to try to sell you unnecessary repairs. They want a good broad look at a vehicle, and this is a really good unguarded way for them to get that opinion of your vehicle. And again, don't take it personal. They're going to have an opinion of that, but that's what you want. You want a good quality professional opinion of the state of your vehicle. And you could end it there. They might ask you, hey, do you want to get any of this done? If you said, oh, I'm thinking about selling it, they may just leave it at that. They're going to give you a good quality opinion of it, and then you can leave it at that. That's where it kind of becomes your choice. Do you want to get it fixed by them? Do you want it to get fixed somewhere else? Or this is really what I'm getting at is during this time of inflation of go through that list and see what you might be comfortable doing yourself. If it's brake repair, generally that's pretty straightforward. YouTube is a great resource, probably where you're watching this, and try to figure out how to do it yourself. That is a good money saving tactic. You can go get the parts a little bit cheaper because likely if they are a good mechanic, they do have to mark them up. They have a business to run. That's the whole point of it, which have a lot of other good benefits is somebody's taking care of it. But again, you're watching this video on how to save money. So go through that list, see what you might be comfortable with, spend a little bit of time. This is where you're going to spend your time and trade for money, is go through and research some of those things. What's the leak they're talking about? Oh, I have an oil leak and it's probably coming from valve covers. What does that mean? Look those things up, spend a little bit of your own sweat equity, and maybe see some things that you can handle. Same goes if they scanned your check engine light. Maybe that is something you can handle. Is it evap stuff? Is it your gas cap? Is it something more complex? Do they need to diagnose it? Things of that nature. But maybe see if there's a few things in there you can bite off. And also, a really good mechanic will position things in a certain order. Generally, safety is obviously at the top of the list. Then you move down to kind of maintenance items, and then there's things, okay, it's worn out or we see this, but it's not imperative to both. It just needs to be on your radar to be fixed at some point to bring that vehicle back to original condition. But tell the mechanic, hey, times are tough. Let's start with some safety items, have them go through that. And again, a good quality shop will go through these things with you and help you prioritize that. And then be able to give you quality estimates up front and knowing what that's expected to cost. If the shop is not willing to do these things, that everything that I've mentioned, I'm hard pressed to think you're dealing with a quality business. And again, some parameters to remember and think about. They're going to charge their shop labor rate, but they're going to mark up for parts. They need to do this. And honestly, for me, if you're dealing with a business that does not mark up parts, I'd actually be concerned. That means they're not really running a quality business. It's not really thorough because it's like anything else on this planet. They have to operate in a realm of profit in order to continue business down the road and being a good quality facility there for people in the future. But they also may have some other things like warranty to back it up, at least parts warranty, some good integrity behind it, that things have other value to them other than just the repair. So by them doing it, yes, you're going to pay more, but it also has some good inherent value there. So some things to consider. But again, to recap, don't hesitate to spend that little bit of money. And why I made this video was how to save money in this time of inflation. Well, by going out and investing this $200 to $300 in your vehicle, you can get a good snapshot or picture of where your vehicle's condition's at, what may be wrong with it, and again, what can you bite off on your own. Shop for parts. Your local auto parts is always a good place to be. There's nationwide chain retailers. There's also online resources. Some things to consider with online. Yes, you pay less, but you also have to deal with shipping. They also can get it wrong because generally they're just a cataloged resource. So I've often ordered them. That's what I do as well. But sometimes it's wrong. And then you have to deal with waiting for it to begin with. And now you have to deal with shipping it back and forth, which, mind you, they do handle that. It's just going through the process of having to deal with something and ship it back and forth. Just becomes kind of a hassle. So if you do buy it locally, though, you can go physically deal with them directly, pay a little bit more, but as with anything, you pay for a little bit of convenience there. It's just the nature of the world we're in. So hopefully this video helps. Any more questions, comments, leave them down below. Please rate the video. And also, please feel free to message us about other topics you'd like to hit on, and we'll continue to try to bring you some good, valuable content. Thanks for watching.